I want to welcome you all to Citizens Union Annual Gotham Greats event. I've been told not to say dinner. And I'm John Avlon. I have the honor of being the chairman of Citizens Union of New York, which of course has been fighting for reform for over a century. Now, let's be honest. This is a time that is piled high with difficulty for our democracy. But in that, I believe there's also an opportunity. A decade ago or so, I think some people were questioning whether there was still a need for a good government group devoted to honest and effective and accountable government and fair and open elections. But no one who's paying attention thinks that now. The need for Citizens Union is clearer than ever before in our 128-year history. We are surrounded by evidence of corruption and self-dealing, democratic backsliding, and the decline of trust in government. But as citizens, we have a sacred responsibility to hand our city and our state to the next generation better than it was handed to us. And so we all have a lot of work to do. Now, in our polarized times, I think there's a special need for an organization that is principled and pragmatic. And Citizens Union is unique because we bring together Democrats and Republicans and independents, people from perspectives left, right, and center, all dedicated to the proposition that we, the people, have to take responsibility for the fate of our democracy. There you go. Thank you. Now, it has been a busy year in the civic life of New York and a busy year in the life of Citizens Union. We have begun a generational change. I have the honor of taking the mantle from my friend Randy Mastro as chairman of the organization, and we're delighted, of course, to have Grace Rauh filling the very big shoes of Betsy Gottbaum, who we'll be honoring tonight. But sometimes it's essential to make sure that the old builds on the new builds on the foundation of the old. And if you look at Citizens Union history, you'll see that most of the election reforms, many of which we take for granted in New York, were begun by Citizens Union, that we are carrying on a great legacy. I mean, everything from community boards to an independent budget organization, taking on people who accumulate too much power at times, like Robert Moses, pushing forward redistricting reform, ranked choice voting. We're going to keep the fight up for open primaries. And we even elected a mayor at one point. That's just to say that you are part of that legacy now. You are part, and so we're asking you not only for your support tonight, but for your continued support in the days and weeks and months ahead to bring about a new reform era in New York, because our city and our state desperately need it. We cannot accept a broken and stale status quo. We need to be forces for reform. We need to straighten our civic backbones collectively, and there's nothing more powerful than the example of citizens, because it does send forward ripples of courage. When people see people standing up to actions that are wrong, that some people are silent about because they want to fall in line or cozy up to a partisan machine. We don't do that here. We've never done that here. And so our organization will remain laser focused on the issues of honest and accountable government, of free and fair elections, of an educated citizenry. And we're doing it with new board members and all of you with a renewed energy. I want to also acknowledge that with Grace Rauh, we've also gotten to combine forces with Five Borough, which is now an institute at Citizens Union. And that will allow us to focus on our core areas, but also keep an eye on solutions for the affordability crisis and keeping up the improvements in quality of life that are so important to the citizens of New York and the source of so much righteous frustration right now. We indeed have a lot to do. We are going to be releasing a new reform agenda to help guide the next mayor, whoever they may be, to help clean up City Hall, to try to restore some honesty and ethics and transparency and accountability to that office so we can restore trust among our fellow New Yorkers. With that effort, we do work with elected officials, and I want to acknowledge the elected officials who are with us tonight. I believe Congressman Jerry Nadler is here, New York State Comptroller Tom DiNapoli. Tom. Assemblyman Alex Boris, Assemblyman Tony Simone, Assemblywoman Jennifer Rajakumar, and Assemblyman Micah Lasher. And Councilmember Gail Brewer will be with us shortly. I want to really thank not all members of Citizens Union, but especially Judy Rappaport-Blitzer, and Christina Davis, who put their heart and soul into making this a successful evening. So thank you from the bottom of our heart. And I would like to ask actually all the members of Citizens Union's board and Citizens Union Foundation to stand up. It's a great group, and I'm proud to work with them every day. I also want to acknowledge some of the previous Gotham greats in the House: Randy Mastro, Brendan McGuire, Eric Dinalo, Mary Jo White, Eleanor Randolph, Bruce Ratner, Richard Edelman, and Claudia Roma Edelman, and my bride, Margaret Hoover. Before we get to a renewed sizzle reel and our first award, I want to say that your support and your commitment has helped us raise almost $1 million tonight. That is an extraordinary achievement for our organization. We are closing in on that gap, so if you haven't given, or if you have the capacity to give a little more, please do. Let's clear that threshold, because the cause of reform and good government in New York deserves it.